Okay, so in this video I'm just going to do some more examples of multiplying polynomials. You might not need this video, you might kind of be able to do this already, but we'll just do some more complicated ones. So let's say we had, in the other video it was always a binomial times a binomial, but let's say you had a binomial times a trinomial. And here's simple, I'll just keep it all one variable. But it's the same thing, right? All you're going to do is take both the terms in the first bracket and expand them or use the distributive property into the second bracket. So the 2x now has to be multiplied by all three terms, and the 1 has to be multiplied by all three terms. So 2x times 3x squared, 6x cubed. 2x times minus 4x, minus 8x squared. 2x times the 1 plus 2x. So that's the 2x times all three terms. And now do the minus 1. So minus 1 times 3x squared minus 3x squared. Minus 1 times minus 4x plus 4x. Minus 1 times 1 minus 1. So we have these 6 terms by expanding, and now just look for any common terms. So x squareds, I have 2x squared terms, and then x, I have 2x terms. So we have two pairs of like terms. So we'll just collect those. So minus 8x squared, minus 3x squared, minus 11x squared, plus 2x plus 4x, plus 6x, and the minus 1. So now we have a 4-term polynomial. And I think from this example, I won't do any more. You know, if it was a binomial and a 4 terms, right? Each term by every term in the other bracket. So basically the rule is you take every term in the first bracket and multiply it by every term in the second bracket. So, you know, with that knowledge, you could, in theory, do any amount. We usually don't go above. Most of our examples are actually going to be like in the previous video, where it's just 2 terms times 2 terms, binomial times binomial. But sometimes you will see binomial and trinomial, or even a trinomial and a trinomial. You could also have examples where you have to do, let's say, 2x squared minus 5x, let's say, times 4. So a monomial times binomial plus, let's say, 2x times 7x minus 1. So here there is 2 distributive properties, and then you're adding the result. So here, order of operations dictate we do the multiplication first. So this must be done first, and this must be done first, and then we can add the result. So 4x times 2x, just distributive property. So 8x squared, 4 times minus 5x, so minus 20x. So that's the result of this, plus, and we'll do the result of this. So the 2x times 7x, and then 2x times minus 1. 14x squared minus 2x. And then we can add any like terms. So notice an 8x, and a 14x, and a minus 20x, and a minus 2x. So we have 22x squareds minus 22x. Interesting, both the same coefficient. But different terms, not like terms, so you can't combine it any further. Similar example, let's say you had a binomial. This is going to be a bit longer, but times another binomial, and then you added that. Actually, let's subtract this time, make it a little more complicated. Minus 4x plus 1 minus 5. So notice all these binomials are fairly simple, eh? It's almost as simple as you can get, in that it's 2 terms. The first term is just one variable with exponent 1, and the second term doesn't even have a variable. That's actually the most common ones we're going to be looking at, but I mean, you could make more complicated binomials. So again, we're going to have to do this part, the multiplication first, and the multiplication first over here, and then we'll have to subtract the results. So we know how to do this. Let's just distribute the first term into the second term, and then distribute the second term into the second binomial. So 2x times 3x, 6x squared, 2x times 2, 4x, minus 1 times 3x, minus 3x, and minus 1 times 2. Okay, so that's the product of the first two. Then we need to subtract, and now when I do this second one, I'm going to keep it all in a bracket, and you'll see why in a second. So, but now it's just the same, 4x into the second bracket, and the 1 into the second bracket. So 4x times 3x, 12x squared, 4x times minus 5, minus 20x, 1 times 3x, plus 3x, and 1 times minus 5. Now the reason, actually, the reason that I kept this bracket is because we need to subtract this whole, like all these terms. So if you remember, you could think of this as like a minus 1 in front of this bracket. So I need to multiply this minus sign, or minus 1, for each term in this bracket. If you didn't have the bracket, you might just have put the minus in front of this term, but actually you're going to have to do it for each term here. And another comment is, you could simplify like the 4x and the 3x now, or I'm just going to do that all at the end. So 6x squared minus 4x minus 3x minus 2, and then the minus 1 into each term. So minus 12x, basically it's just changing the sign of everything here, plus 20x minus 3x plus 5. So basically we just change the sign of all the terms here. And now just collect like terms. So x squared, I have minus 6x squared. X terms, I got 4x terms. So I'll add all those. Minus 4 minus 3, it's minus 7. Plus 20 would be 13. Minus 3 would be 10x. And then constant terms, minus 2 plus 7 plus 3. So we're down to just a trinomial. So this big, ugly question to begin with, turns out you simplify it, you just get a simple trinomial. Or not simple, but you get a trinomial.